Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Samurai Schultz, and welcome to kind of a messy project today. It's actually good that I took yesterday off because while it was pretty hot and also I wasn't feeling well, it gave me some time to um, kind of look at my project and figure out what exactly it was that I wanted to get done. I'll actually get out of that for a second. Because so far I had been working on my gameplay ability system, which is core to the entire project. It's very important. But that's just the thing, is there's not really a result that comes out of it. I need to actually have content to employ that gas properly, that gas system. So what I what I was working on yesterday was um, well, I was porting over some information from Nucleino to Notion because that was another software I was using. But also, I was trying to, I was thinking about what made my game unique from others of its kind because it's narrative based and it's a platformer. Like it's I feel like it's kind of similar to God of War Ragnarok, just in gameplay flow, in narrative, and in aesthetic because it's Norse. Now it's not like it's not a one for one by any means, and I couldn't really say that exactly because I haven't played uh, God of War Ragnarok, um, or what's the other one in that series? I feel like there's God of War Ragnarok. Hold on, God of War Ragnarok. It concludes the Norse era. Yeah, I think there might have been one before it, but I I've been thinking about what's going to make it different from other games. And one of the main things is being able to customize your character by and the main way that you're able to customize your character is by crafting your abilities. Because the fragments that you pick up all have Norse symbols on them that pertain to different modifiers for an ability. So you might pick up like a base ring, like an outermost ring, and they're like all metal pieces. And then maybe that's like a level 3, for instance. It modifies the power of that sigil. And then on the inside, like you can attach to that outermost ring another ring which modifies the condition for activating that sigil. And then on the very inside is the actual ability. For instance, I wish I could draw it. Well, I guess I can draw it out here. So let me do that real quick. So, for instance, let's see how my drawing with mouse is. So on the outside here, we have, I can do a little bit better than that. There we go. So we have the base. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. So this is like the base ring, and then we have another one on the inside, and this could be the what would a good name for this be? The condition, and then the very innermost, which might have like an eye in the center, I'm thinking, or some kind of symbol. And this one right here would be the ability. So all these different parts kind of compose the sigil. And then there's other ones that you could attach in between, but they're not essential. Like these are the main three ones that I think would be essential. So today is really going to be more, it's going to be more design than anything. I'm trying to redirect myself into a feature that's going to make my prototype different from other games. Because I thought about, well, what if I just implement the combat first? Well, I mean, people will just see it and be like, "Oh, okay, cool combat. Where's the actual content?" So, I need something that shows that, oh yeah, this is new and innovative. If you add some cool combat to it, if you add some better animations, that could really spice it up. But crafting your character is at the heart of this, and it's kind of at the heart of the story too, because everybody starts off as the same character essentially. You are the hot end. You are the vengeful prisoner, representative of humanity enslaved. But you grow in skill and you grow in strength and in wisdom. So that's why we're going to be doing a lot of boring stuff, for lack of a better word today. So looking at this is our game design document, by the way. I spent like most of yesterday porting a bunch of this stuff over from Nucleino because Notion is free. There's unlimited. There's no data storage limit, and there's no cost to it. If you want to get a business plan, then you can have bigger uploads, but I don't really care about that. But right now, I'm paying for Nucleino, which I do not want to do anymore. So I've been porting this over, and I have like 5 or 6 more game design documents to port over. Um, with like 3 of which aren't really game design documents. They're pretty small. They just have like basic premises set to them. Not even any gameplay, just they're all story based. Okay. So I kind of have some ideas for what the different components can modify. So let's see here. I'm gonna make a heading called modified or modifiers. What's the temperature? It's 76. It was 50 degrees last night. It was so nice. I was actually able to sleep. Um, but I'm really excited because I'm getting a cooling blanket delivered today. Very happy about that. Okay, anyways. So on the outermost ring is just going to be the level ring. It's just going to modify, okay, what is like the basic power of this? It's going to be like a general modifier. It might modify time, like the duration of the effect. It could modify uh like how big an effect is, like if it's a fire wave or something, how large is it? It can modify a bunch of different things. I don't want to modify it too much because I want increased flexibility. I want a lot of flexibility in this, so I want there to be like in a sigil, I want there to be like maximum 8 pieces. Like there should not be any more. So that's why each component is going to have to modify different attributes. Um, Man, this is it's kind of like scary to have to figure out on your own how to design something. So we have level ring, conditional ring. Conditional ring, this is, yeah. So what state the player has to be in order to activate the effect. So that might be something like, um, I'm gonna say, I'm not even gonna suffix these with ring. I'm just gonna say movement state. Yeah, I'm just gonna make these way more abstract. I've been putting too much flavor text. Uh, let's see, modifies the overall power, crouching, standing, running, jumping, flying, etc. What ability is actually granted? Good point. Yeah, so in the center, yeah. Actually, let's bring this up here. Hold on. So I've been looking at some Old Norse, and basically the way I'm going to set up the language, well, not the language. I'm not making a new language, but I'm doing some translation here. So it might be like, okay, I want the ability, the end ability to be fire, a fire wave. So I look up fire, and then I would choose one of these because these all have different connotations. So I would choose one of these, and then based on that, you kind of have to. What is it that you have to do again? You have to translate it into one of these, into runes basically. And it's all based on pronunciation. So, which one do we have here? Let's say we used uh, Bruni as an example. That's a really easy one, and it's 2 syllables. So, Bruni, we would find the runes that correspond to the sounds Bru and Ni. Or maybe it would be Brun-I. So, yeah, like, this is its own. Do we have a Bru? B R U, and then we have an N somewhere, N I. Yeah, so it would be a combination of these. I don't know why there's multiple runes though, and why there's translations for each of these individually. So it's a bit complicated there. I'm not trying to figure out what runes are going to go where or any of that. At least I don't think I am. I'm just trying to figure out how to make the crafting system interesting because I'm going through a course right now that I just bought yesterday that deals with inventory and crafting and building. Although I'm not going to use the building part of it. Um, so that'll be pretty useful. But this is going to modify the overall power. What ability is actually granted? And to be honest, I could just design this as I go along. Like, I don't need to think of all the different ways a gameplay effect could be modified. Although, I think I asked Copilot for some ideas on the way gameplay abilities can be modified. So here, let's take a look. So, I don't think I can zoom in more. Yeah, I just explained there's fragments to this and they can all be combined to make an ability. So there's trigger conditions. Oh, another one that I just thought of is the source of power for this. Let's see. What type of heading is this again? That's heading 3. Oh, I see, I see. Makes sense. Yeah, so here it would be source. So it's going to be what hard attribute does the sigil consume? I'm not going to try to frame that as a question. What hard attribute the sigil consumes? Okay. Boom. Right. Level ring, source, movement state, and I'm just gonna desuffix those. Okay. Another one would be, especially if abilities are used by NPCs. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that now. I'm focused on the player experience, just with the abilities themselves. Single target AOE. This is actually a good one. That's a great one. Also, I want to share one of my favorite abilities. I think, yeah. Um, and by the way, there's the name of these abilities is just going to be Seal. I'm not going to explain why I named it that way, but one of my favorite abilities is this one right here. Summons your last used weapon back to your hand. That's a main character energy right there. That is so cool. Okay. That's a system that I haven't implemented. But basically, there's internal seals, which affect your own self, like your own. It's usually related to movement or to health, or to your attack damage. And then external seals are you are modifying your environment. So, like we saw here, you're blasting a wave of fire. This one actually is more of an internal seal. It's allowing you to see. Oh, makes the wall, ceiling, floor crumble in a radius. I don't know what this last sentence means. But you can see they all affect something outside of the player. Oh, what the? Okay. Anyway, yeah. So prescience should actually be. We're gonna put that in there. So yeah, like this one I really like. Your stamina stops regenerating. Okay, I got way off track, but the reason I'm bringing up these abilities is you. I was trying to think of some abilities that would be interesting for the player, and then based on those descriptions, find out what modifiers I would need in order to create that ability. For example, um, this one explicitly mentions what source you're drawing from. Let's actually read the whole thing. Upon activation, ignore that parentheses part, your stamina stops regenerating and is drained and converted into health. After stamina is fully drained, you begin regenerating stamina again. So this one is super explicit about using a consumable, using a hard attribute as a source for your ability. You're draining it from stamina to health. Um, so there's that one. Launches the player forward and increases their speed to dash. Oh, I think yeah, because you can already dash as a player. You can like stumble forward kind of, but this just really amplifies that. So there's not much interesting about that. This one's pretty interesting because it increases your run speed, attack speed, and jump height. So there's a lot of this. Yeah, so this one's interesting because it's not just modifying one attribute; it's modifying a lot. Um, So, hmm, you know what? I'm kind of doing outermost to innermost. I don't know if that's obvious. One thing I just realized is we need to make. Oops, actually, that should be. Whoops, 3. We need one that specifies whether it's internal or external. Like if it's a, for example, let's say the ability that's actually granted, maybe it has to do with fire. Instead of, and if it was external, it would like send a fire wave, and if it was internal, you would set yourself on fire. You know, it would be something like that. There's kind of an element of chaos there, I guess. Um, but that means you'd have to make a ton of different combinations for all of your different abilities. Kind of, sort of, anyway. Yeah, the internal external part is not super modular. You'd have to be very clever about making that flexible. Anyway, is the ability internal or external? In this, let's keep looking at these. And then we have interactive. Or both. Yeah. I consider interactive to be both. It's relating to both parties. It's either me outside of me, or it's me interacting with something outside. Like when I yeah. Yeah, so like interactive. For example, one ability um that I have not written down is you can pray at altars. I'm gonna actually let's see at altar. And that's a different element. Man, there's just so much to this game. Oh, that's why you have to start with something that's the most interesting. So I'm gonna make a very simple inventory. Not gonna do any pretty UI or anything like that. Just gonna make it so you can craft stuff, and that's it. Like that's already gonna be hard enough for me to implement because I am not a programmer. Okay. Anyway, back at crafting, we have all of this. We have all these components. Let's see. Each component of the sigil. I'm gonna document this for prosperity. Prosperity. For myself reading this later, not knowing what this page means. That's what I mean to say. Each component of the sigil modifies an aspect of the sigil. I'm gonna put that up here because that's related. Let's see. So they vary in number and type. But there are a few basic ones that are essential. I'm gonna say level, source, and I. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. I'm gonna make this a bullet point thing because I hate looking at this. And I hate all these red squiggles too. I'm gonna replace. Here, I'm gonna use a shortcut. We're gonna Control H all this. I can't use Control H, I guess? Okay, never mind. Sub attribute. And technically it wouldn't be sub attribute, it would be hard attribute like health or stamina, concentration, intuition. So, yeah. Okay, well, we don't need that heading. Okay. Oh, I also, for my current viewer, there's this beautiful diagram explaining everything. Uh, base, condition, ability. Oh, that reminds me. We actually do need condition of some kind. So we have movement state, but we also need a condition. For example, if maybe an ability is blocked because we have another ability active. So I'm going to make the heading here condition can the, let's see here, whether the ability can be activated because, and oops, because another ability is active, or I guess that's the main thing. I mean, these are all kind of conditions, sort of. Well, not all of them. I mean, these are conditions because if there's just no intuition left, for example, then you can't activate it. But because another ability is active, there's got to be more than that. I'm just gonna put etc. for now, even though there's only one. All right. So we have that, and I feel like there was something else I wanted to do here. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna show off some of the concept art I found for this. So, I like this. This up here. This could be a potential centerpiece for the sigil, as well as this. I like this because, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can read the captions too here, hopefully. But I like that you could have these characters on the outside be modifiers. I like this one because it's kind of modular. I like that they're all using some similar shapes, like a bunch, like these are both using arrows. Um, all of them use circles, and they're all roughly a circular pattern, and they're all symmetrical on at least one axis. I mean, yeah, like this is trisymmetrical. This is bisymmetrical. Or actually, that's quad symmetrical because you can cut it in 4 pieces and have it be the same. This is quad symmetrical. This one's this has 9. You could cut that 9 ways. Oh yeah, and it also shows the symbols used on the bottom, so that's kind of cool. Like this is the symbol for male, I think. And then these different triangles, those stand for different elements. So this is mm, I think this is water and this is earth. This is fire and that's air. Yeah. Those are the alchemical symbols for the 4 classical elements. Earth, fire, water, and air. But anyways, how do we... Okay. Then we have this. I wasn't really sure if this would work, but I included it anyway. It didn't really match with the Norse aesthetic that I was leaning towards, but I went with it. Oh, and this was super cool. This really inspired me a lot. Um, so basically, this guy, he made a bunch of cards which are basically for magic or divination. They're not playing cards. Like this guy is who made them is clearly into magic. Uh, but man, these are like super cool. So basically, you have all these different symbols, and I'll increase the size. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I'm just gonna double click here. That should open it up. Can we zoom? Perfect. Okay, so you have all these different symbols, and these are from the it's called the Younger Futhark version of Old Norse or the Elder Futhark. But each of those is 24 characters and they all have different meanings that are kind of vague, so you can extrapolate on them a little bit. But this guy used this Futhark symbol to mean peace. So there's a meaning for each of them that he kind of extrapolated from Futhark. He changed them like just ever so slightly because they're pretty vague anyway. And then he constructed them into their own unique symbol. I think that's super cool. Like I love modularity. And then you can even like make a sentence out of it. So it's almost like I don't know, not like charades. That's not the word I'm trying to think of. It's almost like a game of like, oh, look at the words. What sentence could you put together that could make that an ability that makes sense? Like peace and mystery don't make a ton of sense, but light, that's like this whole thing could be like a light a light sigil. I seek harmony through exploration of the unknown. So like each word in here corresponds. So harmony with peace, unknown with mystery, enlighten with light, and spiritual with magic. So it's kind of approximately the same thing. Shield of Light. This one was pretty cool. And this one's also pretty cool because you are using alchemical symbols in here, which aren't explicitly Norse. So we kind of mashed those together. So you have Uruz, Force, Algis, Protect, Counter Light. So I mean, it's a pretty 1-to-1 ratio. Shield of Light, it's a force of light that protects, and the fire permeates the air, I suppose. So I will endure and repel each strike from the shadow. So I guess endure would correspond there. How many keywords are they? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, protect, um, guide. I'm not sure about these ones. But this one, even if it doesn't match up perfectly, it's an ability that could actually like make sense. Like maybe it's a light shield that protects you from creatures that come after you in the dark. So even if it's imperfect here, it kind of gave me an idea of the type of modularity that I wanted. Like each symbol corresponds to an, an English word, and you can mix and match these different layers together to figure out what the meaning of each rune is. Man, I am talking a lot and I'm almost out of water. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. So attribute reliance. I'm gonna just capitalize that. Player condition. I'm gonna say player state. Yeah. Let me know if you think this is something that's actually interesting, or if it's too dense, or there's something you want me to explain more. But I'm really passionate about this, and I don't want to get too caught up in it. As much as I am excited about it, I want to make sure I'm making something that's actually interesting to people. Because I want to work on the prototype. That's one of the purposes of it, is like, hey, here's this cool thing, guys. If I think it's cool, at least. If you guys don't, I'm gonna stop working on it, pretty much. Um, that's why I'm only giving myself to the end of this year, because I don't want to spend any more time than I have to. Okay, but I think I'm gonna move on. Feel free to ask questions about that, or if you want to see it again, I am all ears. I'm just gonna pull up programs because I'm gonna be working on the plugin, which is arguably more boring. Okay. So okay. You find it very interesting. Yeah. I don't know much about this type of stuff, so I like learning about it. Oh, like what type of stuff? You mean like all the I mean, I guess I went over a lot. Like I went over Norse runes and I went over I guess a lot of game design. Um Also when I talk about game design, I really don't know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of just making it up as I go along. I've played a lot of video games, and I like most of the way I design gameplay mechanics are based around like I when I fantasize about this world that I'm creating, I just think I don't think okay, I don't naturally think what would be interesting for the player. I think well, in this world it's like this. This is how it is. So I'm kind of training myself to think uh about it the other way, both the mythology and the gaming aspect. Yeah, I mean that's fair. Like I feel like a lot of people don't read Norse mythology as much. Like the extent of their knowledge is, oh yeah, like Thor and Loki and Odin from Marvel, which is fine. Like that's totally cool. Um, but yeah, it's so fun to like get into it even just casually because there's such a deep beauty to mythologies and there's deep flaws to it, right? You know, based on the culture of the Vikings, you know, there's a lot to be said about their flaws and about their moral values. But there's this reverence I feel like that's not found in modern day culture. That's just very fascinating to me. Okay, anyway, let's open this up. So here we're creating like a base item because I'm creating a plugin for the inventory so I can have it be applied to multiple projects. I don't need a comma there. I don't need that. So right now I have like different item types, and then I have a ton of different aspects of it. Like there's a unique name for it. There's a display name, so when you like hover over the item in your inventory, what's the pop-up that's going to show to tell you what it is? Item description, that would be the same thing in the pop-up. Use action text, so if you're holding it, is there a prompt that tells you what to do with it? Item icon, that's pretty obvious, like when it's in your inventory, what's going to be the 2D sprite for it. Static mesh, that's the 3D object that's associated with it. So if you drop it on the ground, what does it look like? And this, for example, I think I might use gameplay tags instead of display names. What? Yeah. Well, not, yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm learning as I go along. Like, largely. Okay, where is my hairbrush? Here we go. Okay, I'm just gonna watch this video here. So I'm gonna be going back and forth. Oh, right, yeah, so he's looking at... Where is it? Yeah, this right here. So, for example, all those properties that I was showing, like, just a second ago, you have... This is a table based on all of those properties. So you have, like... You have your row name. Well, that's just because it's a data table. Then you have your unique name. You have your item display name, item description, use action text. And for bread, like all of these make sense, in my opinion. So we have static mesh. I'm going to collapse those a little bit. Skeletal mesh, item type, weight, stack size. Yeah. Cost type. I don't know why we have cost type. Where even is cost type? It's just an F name. Whatever. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep watching here. Oh, we're making another struct. Oh my gosh. This guy is like actually a psychopath. Not okay, I'm joking. I'm joking. He's not a psychopath. I meant that hyperbole. That was hyperbole. I promise. What he does is instead of going into his IDE and being like, "Oh, I want to create a new class or file or whatever." He opens Windows Explorer. I'll show you. It's actually insane. So he'll like open Windows Explorer here. And you'd be like, oh, okay, let's go here. So in our source, this is the source for our plugin. I want to make a new header file with some information about our base item. Okay, outside of private and public, he makes a folder, and then he makes a text document right here, and then he converts it to a header file, and then he names it and fills it all in. I don't understand why he chooses to do that, because it would be so much easier to just I all you have to do is go to add, and I'm pretty sure you just go to file, and then you just go inventory item .h, and that's it. You choose cancel. Sure. Like that's all you have to do. But instead he goes down this entire path in Windows Explorer, and I don't get why. No other no other C++ course I followed says to do that. And it's so yeah. I mean, we didn't do that with making the character in the controller, but he decided to do that with the inventory item. And that that hurt. Oh, that felt like a kick up the butt. And it's completely blank too. And then oh yeah, and then on top of that, when you do it through Windows Explorer, you have to reload the project. So you have to why? Why? I don't understand why. Yeah, and then you have to wait for it to generate the project files again. Like, no, don't do that. Just do it the easy way. It's so easy. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, he copied over. Okay, wait. He decided to copy over. And he did all that in Windows Explorer for some reason, I guess. Um, okay, this is gonna be, instead of base item, since we're in this class, it's just gonna be inventory item. Oops, inventory item dot generated dot h. Okay, and then we have all this. And I think this is gonna be the item. This is gonna be the whole struct for when it's actually in your inventory and it's on the player. I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna be different, but yeah, okay. Skip ahead. Let's see. Oh yeah, we don't need that. Oh. Wait, okay. Okay, so apparently we don't need any of this. Which makes sense. If it's in the inventory, you don't need weight. You don't need skeletal mesh. You don't need static mesh, but you do need item icon. Why wouldn't you need that? Because when it's in the inventory, you need that icon to display what it is. Anyway, there's only 8 hours of this course, so yeah. Oh, wait, you only need, whoops, you only need unique name and stack size? I mean, I guess some of those made sense to remove, but some of those did not. Whatever. Okay. Oh, wait, actually, it's gonna be one. Whoops, I have to fix that in here. The stack size by default should be one. It cannot be less. Okay, now I think we can be back. Oh wait, this also has to be one. Yeah. Okay. I think we're done with that now. So I'm gonna separate that because I like having that separated. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So the index, by the way, um, your inventory, what essentially is, if you just imagine like your typical Minecraft inventory, it's it's 9 slots across and 4 slots in height. What that essentially is, well, that's including the hotbar. Let's just include the base inventory. That's just 27 slots, 9 by 3. That's an array of items, essentially. Now, by default, all of those items are none. It's set to none. You have the index at 0 because every array. Yeah, so the index is like the coordinate of the array, like where, not coordinate, it's like the number in the array. So for example, the first slot in the array, that's 0, and then 1, and then 2, all the way up to 26. So 0 through 26 is slot 1 through 27. Because they started with, yeah. Don't ask me why they decided to do it that way, but that's just how it works. I don't know a deeper answer than that. But the default index is at 1, apparently, instead of 0. I don't know why we're setting it there. Oh, we do not need that. Okay, we need a. Okay. Hmm. Oh yeah, this is gonna be inventory item. Ooh, I have never made an operator before. Okay, this is gonna be a const. F inventory item. What the heck is RHS? Const return unique name equals. I have no, what the heck is this? I'm gonna put a comment in here. What? I'm gonna put a to do actually, because I'm just copying from the course. This is what he's typing. I've never written a line of code like that. Bool operator. Weird. Okay. Figure out what the hell this is. Period. With gravity. Wait a second. Hold on. Huh. Wait. I forgot to set up my whole backdrop. Hold on, let me do that. I'm also going to turn on the fan. Sorry, it's going to be a little bit noisy. It's actually pretty chilly compared to the past few days because it's 76 and usually it's like 10 degrees greater. My gosh. It's been awful. Okay. Okay, stack size, bool B is empty. Okay. This looks, cannot resolve that symbol. F inventory item. F inventory item. F inventory item. Oh. Struct an F inventory item. Props. Okay. What about this? Does not match row variables. Suggested name is RHS. Okay, well, let's just see if it compiles. And it'll show up here because we have the editor open. Okay, it worked. Okay, so this should all work. I mean, doesn't do anything, but it's not going to crash our game. And the thing about this course is, since it's like 8 hours long, and inventory is not a simple thing, especially with all this setup, like this is not like just a drag and drop type of thing. Like we're making a whole ass plugin for inventory. And to pretend that it can be adequately covered in, oh, we're halfway through. To pretend that it can be adequately covered in 8 hours is just not true. So I think he's going to be cutting some corners on on the widgets, for example, like making the actual heads up display. Probably not going to be the prettiest inventory tab, which I'm totally fine with, but I wonder if it's going to be, when it's going to have good programming practices. Um, so after I take this course, I'm going to take Stephen Ulibarri's course on inventory, and I'm going to implement some of that stuff into this plugin. Hopefully that will work. Okay, I think we have a little bit. Yeah, see, like this dude, he missed this thing right here. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical, but there's some, yeah, he's just like not, I don't understand how he explained this guy, not Steven. This guy's name is Saragon. Um, I'm I'm not super impressed with his attention to detail or lack thereof. But like he made a blank class for this and said, "Oh, like it was, it was completely empty." And he was like, "Oh, I don't want any like boilerplate stuff in here. Any any basic includes because it just makes you more conscious about writing the file or something like that." And then he just copied it over to this. Like what's the difference? You're just copying it over to there. So still trying to I'm still trying to reconcile that. But then because he did that, he missed this. And I did the same. I just copied and pasted this over and I didn't miss this right here. So he just left this as it was over here. Base item.generated.h, which corresponds to that. It shouldn't be over here because, well, this is inventory item, right? It should be the same thing. I mean, I would consider myself an intermediate programmer at this point. I don't know. I just feel like I should have been the one to miss that and not my instructor, if anything. Okay, we're making a storage component in this lecture, I guess. That's cool. Ooh. Okay. Okay, we're gonna make an actor. Oh, actor component, yeah. Oh, by the way, the name of the plugin that I'm creating, I think this is a cool name for it. It's called Channery, because Channery is the name for a medieval bag. You can look it up. It's kind of obscure. If you type in Channery bag, you might end up with Chanel. It'll just show you Chanel bags. So what I had to do, I actually had to hold on. Show me the Channery medieval. Oh wait, yeah. Wait, yeah. I had a conversation with Copilot about trying to find this. I was like, would the plural of Channery be Channeries? Because I've asked before, I was like, oh, what does Channery mean? And it was like, oh, that's an old medieval bag. And then it just did not understand what I was saying. It was like, oh, do you mean Chancery? Uh, if Channery was a word, then Channeries would be the expected form. And I was like, Channery is in the bag. Like, you remember, right? And then it was like, oh, you mean the Chanel bag? Well, that would be Chanellery. And then uh, it said a bunch of stuff about that. If you were coining Channery as a whimsical term for a Chanel-inspired bag or style, then yes, Channeries would be the plural. It actually has a nice ring to it. And I was like, fuck. No, that's not what I mean. No, Channery, medieval bag. We talked about this last week. And I was like, ah, that Channery. My bad, Paul. You're absolutely right. uh, yeah, the thing with Copilot is it doesn't really remember conversations, but it will pretend to because it's built in with like a super agreeable personality. So you can just be kind of like a prick to it and it'll just it'll just take it. Uh and then okay, then it said the definition and then yeah, so the proper definition is these were used in nearly every aspect of daily life during the Middle Ages, from carrying sporting equipment to food for pets. They were practical, sturdy, and often worn at the waist. So, in my game, the main bag that you carry is called a channery. And it's a really big bag with all of your equipment in it. And when you fight, you have to be like, okay, and then you have to take it off. Um, it's just like a ton of equipment that you can carry into each of the dungeons. And it said, yes, the plural would be channeries. Uh, so I think the name of this plugin is called Channeries. Yeah, it's called Channeries, a plugin for player inventory, crafting, and building. So technically, I could put this on the marketplace, but I would probably just make it free because I'm making it for my own project anyway. I mean, unless I added something extra to it, I suppose I would put it on there for like $5 or $6. All inventory plugins are basically the same. Like they're not that complex. Like maybe if I added building to the plugin, maybe I would do that, but I'm gonna call this Channery storage component, going with the naming convention I have for everything else. Like this right here, I have Channery character and Channery controller. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. Let's bring this up. Oh, yeah. So this, and this is gonna go. It's public, and right, and I want this to be for my plugin and not my main project. So I have to make sure it's set to that. Channery storage component. Storage. And I think instead of under player, I'm going to put it under. Honestly, I don't know what to put it under. I'm just going to put it under storage for now. And then I'm going to forget that class. But before I do that, I think I'm actually going to be right back. It's going to create. And I'm back. I just lowered my... What even happened to my volume? There we go. Okay. All right. So... Right. Okay. So we have a storage component, which is inheriting from actor component. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's see what we're doing after. Probably not going to need this tick component. Okay. Dude, this guy is compiled with like... If I compile right now, it should be fine, right? Yeah, it's fine. When this guy compiles, I swear it's like... Oh, actually, wait, hold up. I don't think you guys can... Yeah, wait, if I compile, I want you guys to be able to hear the sound. It's very important. See, that means good compile. Otherwise, it would make that sound. This guy has compiled, and it's failed like every single time he's compiled. Like, what? Bro. And to be fair, I had some difficulties with it too. But that was because of something different. That was an external issue. And like he's not cutting out any of the... All he's doing is like trying to figure out what he did wrong. And there's like a lot of pauses in between what he's saying. Why would you not cut that out and just be like, ah, so I did some digging and I figured out that this is the problem. I went here and then here and then here and then that's how I found it. Instead of recording all of your blunders in finding the issue. Like, I'm all for recording the debugging process. That's good. That's teaching good programming practice. But this is like, I'm just... Like, he doesn't... Yeah. It's just annoying. Storage. I should have called this components, probably. I'm gonna do that. Sorry, I know there's gonna be some buffering. I just got a notification from YouTube. I don't know why it does that. I don't know why. So I'm gonna rename it components because that's what he is doing. And if we go to private, that's... I'm gonna rename that there as well. And then we're gonna make a space there. Component slash actor component. Okay. And then he's got to regenerate his files. Like, yeah. Yeah. Mm. Oh, right, okay. Okay, so apparently we need this header, I guess. Okay, so he just put his public section below his protected section. I'm gonna just delete that use storage component. Okay, variables. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all this does is just, it makes a collapsible section. And especially if there's a lot of variables, that's pretty nice. Okay, uprom. Oops. Dude, I have to put this on 2 times speed in order to actually, like, not get slowed down. Okay, this U property, I actually want that tabbed out. Okay, so U property, and we're gonna have an int called capacity. Yeah. Int slots filled. I don't know if I finished my thoughts from before, but after I finish this course, I'm just gonna go straight to Stephen Olubari's inventory course because he he goes more in depth on the actual inventory, and like you can have different sized items taking up multiple slots, like Tetris style inventory basically. The array of f inventory item. Oh, f inventory item props. Maybe I should change that actually. F inventory item. Sure, I'll change that. Okay. Oh, and I'm going to delete this because it's no longer in our header file. Um, he has quite the sense of humor. He put in, whoops. He put in this region like that. And it's even he didn't even auto-correct it, but he didn't get that apparently. Yeah, he just ended up with that. That's great. Well done. Okay. Okay. Wow, autocorrect even got it for me. Get items. It's going to return items. Get items. Let's see here. Return items. Okay. Wait, hold up. So do we have all the variables we need? Okay, yeah. I think we're okay. Hmm. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. It hurts me to see. He's clearly used another program. He must have used another programming language besides C++, because this is snake case, where you have these different humps here. At least I think that's what that is, right? But the other kind is camel case. Yeah, so like right here. See the naming convention with the capitalization? So you have that. He he would do it like this, which is awful. That's horrendous. And like for base item, what was it? For one of these. Oh yeah, for index, he did lowercase I on the index. Like that is a huge no-no in C++, especially in UE5 C++. Like you never ever leave any of your variables uncapitalized at the beginning. Unless you have a bool, because the convention for bools is you have a lowercase b at the beginning. Now, does it look the prettiest? Arguably no. But he also didn't follow that, which I'm like, whatever. But the camel case, it's a big no-no. It's supposed to be snake case. What about snake case? Snake case. Hello world. Oh yeah, that would be with underscores. So actually, not quite that. Naming convention for C++ snake case. Something along those lines. Each word is lowercase and separated by underscores. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, so they have that right there. Yeah. So you have the data type, and then followed by the name of your data type, or the name of your variable, with each word capitalized at the beginning. Okay, so I guess it is camel case, technically, but it's still capitalized at the beginning. Local variables typically use this kind of camel case. What? What? E for enum values. I've seen capital E instead of that. Okay, anyways, we're getting caught up in the details that don't really matter. Hmm. We're including delegates. I'm not sure what that's for. Okay, whatever. Anyways, delegate combinations. Yeah. F on storage comp. Hold up. Okay, so now he's making a couple multicasts. I don't know why he thinks we need these. Do we really need those? There's no way, right? I'm just gonna comment that out for now. But he has two of them. F on storage comp. F on storage comp. So this is one that, yeah. I think these are for updating the heads up display. So like the actual in-screen widget for inventory. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna do that. Oh, and it's gonna be blueprint signable. Yeah, we don't want that to be there. Okay. On inventory updated. Whoops. Yeah, so we're assigning those signatures to delegates. Yeah, I think I might change this to be storage. Hold on. Oh yeah, and then we need to make one for this. So make one here. On storage full. Yeah. Beautiful. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait. So for some reason he is. It's a component, right? Which means we can attach it to the player character. And for some reason, he's saying that we shouldn't attach it to this Channery character over here. we should attach it to the actual, whoops, the actual character right here. Character base, I would suppose. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to see if that works. So how does he do this? Oh, view property, read write, category equals inventory. Oh, well, this is actually going to be category storage. Maybe I should make it under channries. Maybe that should be the category. Oh, whoops, I pressed shift too many times. Okay, so it's actually going to be that there. Inventory item. Channries underscore item. Yeah, maybe I should. I'm gonna paste these in. I like that much better. Okay. Oh, wait. Hold up. I'm gonna look for inventory and replace it with channries. Perfect. Okay, so I didn't need to go through that whole thing. Nice. And then same thing for this. Except it's gonna be in this right here is gonna be that. And then what about that F inventory item? Oh, whoops. This is also gonna be F inventory item. U generate, yep, that's gonna be the same. Cannot resolve the symbol F inventory item. Oh, whoops, have to change it here. No, that should all be solved. Okay. All good, all good. Okay, but generate character. Yeah, so in our generate character, I'm going to whoops, include generate character. Wait, what? Oops, that's not right. it's going to be under public components. There we go. Oh, wait, this is in the CPP file. Wait, hold up. This is actually supposed to be in the CPP file. But he does something different here. Wait. Tick. Why is this wrong now? I literally did nothing with this. What? Okay. Well, anyways, that's gonna go right there. And then in our public section, I'm gonna remove all these comments. They're very distracting. Okay, so I'm just gonna remove the tick function altogether. Don't need it. Don't want it, don't need it, don't need it. Set up player input component. Oh. It was that. So we actually have to add something here. So we're going to declare a U storage component, U Shannery storage component, and it's going to be a pointer called Shannery storage. Component. Actually, we don't need that, probably. And we're going to construct this. So okay, I think that should all be right. Oh, he used a text macro. Wait, hold up. So he wrapped that. Okay. Okay. So if I compile this, actually, hold on. If I stop and rerun the editor, don't need Krita, but I don't want to deal with that right now. 77. Why is it getting hotter? I don't want it to get hotter as the day goes on. Could be a lot worse though. A lot worse. Oh, it didn't actually. Oh, whoops. I was just not paying attention. Class U data table, data table. Found semicolon when expecting. Bro, what are we talking about? What if I just delete this? What am I missing here? Class U data table. Oh. No. Wait, what? Oh. um so yeah, I totally missed something really obvious. Okay, wait, where are we at? So full Okay. So this is not supposed to be a function. I totally missed that. That's supposed to be a U property. Items. Yes, that's supposed to be here, actually. And that's supposed to be a U property. It's supposed to be visible anywhere. Blueprint read only. Okay, and then these are also supposed to have that. And this should be a pointer. So we're doing a forward declare. Okay. Okay. Whoops, I didn't mean to press that one, but that's fine. We can be free. We can be free. Finally, we can be free. Are we supposed to initialize these? Hmm. Says they're not initialized properly. Okay. Well, that's fine. What I want to see is if I open the player. Oops, not there. It's gonna be under player character. Yeah, we do have the storage component. Yay! Because this blueprint inherits from. Whoops. It inherits from HATEND player character. That inherits from HATEND base character, and HATEND base character inherits from our our what would you call it? Our Shannery character. Shannery? How to pronounce Shannery? Channery. Okay. Okay. Channery. Want me to whip up a little glossary of medieval gear? What? No. No, thank you. Bye. We also want to set something else, I guess. Wait, hold up. We want to set the capacity to 20. Oh. Okay. We want to capacity. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that's fine actually. 20 is 20 is good. Okay. I have like 1.5 more minutes of this lecture and then I'm gonna be done for today, I think. I'm gonna go get some dinner because the next lecture is 25 minutes long. Yeah. And I'm not gonna be able to finish that. No way. Mm. Well, sweet. We're going to be able to add items in the next lecture and remove them in the one after that. Cool. We're going to be able to pick up items, and the next section after that is... The next section after that is crafting. Oh, there's some multiplayer replication stuff too. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Well, that is great. Well, I know we're ending a little bit early, but I think I'm gonna leave it off there. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that stream, and I will be streaming tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. unless we get another heat wave here, but given today's temperature, I think we'll be okay. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Farewell.